It was Chief Seattle in 1854 in reply to a request to purchase land occupied by his tribe, who stated that, "This we know, the earth does not belong to man, man belongs to the earth. This we know, all things are connected like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected." On today's episode of Jamaica Magazine, we will look at the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and their efforts to ensure the sustainability of the sector and how our farmers are positioning themselves to combat the effects of climate change. And later, just imagine how good it would feel to be able to pick one shiny plump ripe tomato from your personal garden. We'll show you how this can be achieved. I'm Adrian Atkinson. The magazine begins right now.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, will run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Sweet Jamaica, we now left.
Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, April 23. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips says the new tax package announced last week is essential to the continuation of Jamaica's economic reform program. At a post-budget press conference on Tuesday, Dr. Phillips said the $6.7 billion tax package would help Jamaica achieve its primary surplus target of 7.5%. He outlined that if Jamaica did not have a portion of money after paying its debt, the sacrifices made by public sector workers, bondholders, and the wider public would be in vain.
And would put us back to square one, where we would be closed out from access to the resources of the multilateral institutions, and we would be closed out further from access to private capital markets. The improvements in our ratings by the rating agencies would disappear, and again, the trust deficit, which we have been trying to repair, would be widened.
Dr. Phillips further explained that the main reason for the new tax package was a 5% shortfall in revenues in the last fiscal year, due to factors beyond the government's control, such as the decline in oil prices, which reduced the border taxes. Only $420 billion was collected. Meanwhile, the finance minister is insisting that the upcoming income tax threshold will help to cushion the effects of the new taxes. As of January 1, 2015, the income tax threshold will increase by $49,920, putting more money in the hands of Jamaicans. In direct response to concerns about the new levy on banking withdrawals, Dr. Phillips pointed out that in most cases, the additional take-home income from raising the income tax threshold should more than cover the levy rate for withdrawals.
After they have withdrawn and paid the $1,000, they are ahead of the game.
In the meantime, Dr. Phillips said the alternatives to the current revenue-raising measures would place additional burden on pay-as-you-earn workers as well as the most vulnerable. And in his contribution to the budget debate Tuesday, opposition spokesman on finance, Audley Shaw, recommended that the National Housing Trust lift the loan ceiling for contributors. He recommended that the ceiling be raised from $4.5 to $6 million, which would make $12 million available for joint purchase mortgages. While delivering the throne speech earlier this month, Governor General Sir Patrick Allen revealed that government intended to spend $22 billion to provide safe, secure, and affordable housing solutions through the NHT this fiscal year.
The main areas of expenditure will be on open market loans, build on own land, home improvement loans, and the construction of solutions, particularly the small contractor program. This year, the National Housing Trust will complete over 2,000 more housing solutions.
Residents of Helcher St. Catherine now have a new police post in their community. The facility, which was opened recently by National Security Minister Peter Bunting, is in keeping with government's plans to promote proximity policing.
I think it signals a community that's involved, that's concerned, that wants to partner with the police to bring safety and security, and very importantly, the perception of safety and security in the community.
The building to house the Hellshire Police Post was leased from the Urban Development Corporation. And finally, the Black River Market in St. Elizabeth is on track to become a state-of-the-art facility for commerce within another 4 to 5 months. Tankworld Limited was recently given a $16.76 million contract to construct 170 vending stalls at the market. It's part of a $25 million allocation from the Tourism Enhancement Fund to complete Phase 2 of the $68 million Black River Market rehabilitation project, which should be completed by August. It's one of 25 key markets across the island identified for redevelopment.
We are using this project as a benchmark for the new parochial markets, which will cater to a diverse mix of entrepreneurs such as farmers, vendors, craftsmen, cooks, and transport operators.
The stalls will be designed to accommodate haberdasheries as well as ground provisions and fruits and vegetables. The remaining $8.24 million for Phase 2 will cover zoning the market and the installation of utilities. The Jamaica Emergency Employment Program is contributing $10 million to construct sanitary conveniences and a meat shop under Phase 3. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.
Chantal, you know me can't find him for wait, I know when they know. Watch me, honey. Hey Chantal, where you watch? GIS.
No most, you know said that the program are the best.
Them always the places where you have progress. I'm here to them there. Don't me now forget.
I must Manchester's finest.
Hey, hide your remote, not change the station. Cause we soon come back with more information from the school and the station where you're number one. From the school and the program where you're number one.
Food security and safety form the basis of the mandate of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. In effectively carrying out this mandate, the ministry will ensure the sustainability of the sector for all citizens, visitors, and for future generations.
Keeping the nation fed. It's a mammoth task, but the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is up to the challenge. Accomplishing this mission means working with various partners to ensure food security, a lower food import bill, and a thriving agriculture sector that provides adequate income for stakeholders in a responsible way through modern environmentally sound practices.
The fact of the matter is that for too long, we have tended to depend on foreign food to survive. We have just put in place a white paper to deal with food and nutrition. We want our people to be able to get affordable food that can nourish them in a consistent way. So we're talking about food security, and we also want them to have safe foods. So in the end, our people will benefit by being self-sufficient to the best of our ability.
Support agencies include the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, Jamaica Agricultural Society, National Irrigation Commission, the Agro-Invest Corporation, the Veterinary Division, Research and Development, and Fisheries. Industry boards for cocoa, banana, coffee, and dairy also fall within its purview. But it is the approximately 200,000 farmers across the island who form the nucleus and whom the ministry works to support daily through ongoing programs as well as policies and long-term initiatives aimed at securing their sector's viability. RADA plays a big role in the provision of daily support.
What we are doing is to make RADA more ubiquitous in everything that will redound to the benefit of our farmers and our food security and growing the wealth of this country.
Their support is invaluable to farmers at all levels as they travel the island giving advice on crop and livestock husbandry, marketing and income generation. While RADA interfaces directly with those in the field, the Research and Development Division makes strides in crop and livestock research. It is the job of the Agro-Invest Corporation to promote and facilitate investment while managing a portfolio of properties and assets. And the Veterinary Division sees to the health of animals, certification of meat, inspection of live animals, artificial insemination, and diagnostic laboratory services. They are all important cogs in the wheel as the ministry provides overarching support through the formation of policy and the initiation of projects which take a long-term view of the sector. Such projects include the Sugar Transformation Program, Dairy Sector Revitalization, the European Union Banana Support Program, the Improving Jamaica's Agricultural Productivity Program, as well as the National Irrigation Development Program, School Garden Program, and the Anti-Predial Larceny Program. Some are long-term initiatives, while others have a shorter lifespan, aimed at addressing a particular industry's needs, like the Sugar Transformation Program, tasked with reforming one of Jamaica's oldest industries, or the Dairy Sector Revitalization Project, which does as the name suggests. The overall aim is a competitive farming and fisheries sector which can feed the country affordably, so Jamaicans can truly grow what they eat and eat what they grow. This will ultimately lead to greater foreign exchange earnings through the export of competitive crops, like coffee and pepper, which enjoy a global reputation for excellence and are capable of being key economic drivers.
Instead of having to find the foreign exchange to go and buy it, we will use the foreign exchange to buy the seeds and some fertilizer. And then the added value will come locally instead of having to import the bulk of it from abroad.
Fisheries is an important element of that plan. It is agriculture's twin partner and another important area of focus for the ministry, which develops and manages the country's fisheries and aquaculture resources, preventing the depletion of fish stock through conservation efforts and the designation of fish sanctuaries. Creating an environment in which farming and fisheries are respected sources of economic growth, food safety is paramount, and land and sea resources are sustained requires ongoing education. Schools are a great place to start, and the ministry recognizes this with its National School Garden Program and the Jamaica 4-H Club. The Public Gardens and Avenues Division also contributes by seeing to the management and care of Jamaica's precious flora, majestic palms, meandering streams and rivers, soothing waterfalls and tree-lined avenues. These are all services provided by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, as it does its part to support and sustain the efforts of the nation's farmers, fishers, administrators, extension officers, scientists, veterinarians, international agencies and other partners to fulfill Jamaica's potential and make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families and do business.
Calling all Jamaicans. Come share your views on how the government can improve greater access to drinking water. The Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change, MWLECC, wants to ensure that you get the opportunity to speak up on the draft Water Sector Policy and Implementation Plan. The Courtly Hotel is the place to be on April 30 at 6 p.m. The consultations are being staged by the Ministry in collaboration with Global Water Partnership Caribbean. 100% access is the target, so come, speak out and get heard. To find out more about the Water Sector Policy and Implementation Plan, visit the Ministry's website, mwh.gov.jm, or call 926-1590.
Climate change affects and connects us all. It's a global problem that requires individual commitment and participation for resolution. Our farmers are equally challenged, but through the pilot program for climate resilience, an integrated approach is being adopted to assist countries like Jamaica.
Do you know where your food comes from? Your dasheen, tomatoes, yams. Well, most of the foods that you purchase in this and other markets across Jamaica is grown by farmers. Today, we'll be visiting with some farmers in the Riamina watershed in the hills of Florinda. And they will share with us some of the challenges that they experience while trying to put food on our tables. Come on, let's go. Tasha, see you next week. Rio Minnow watershed in Clarendon, Jamaica is home to Jamaica's longest river, the Rio Minnow, which is approximately 93 kilometers. In the upper section of the watershed lives Farmer Blair, who along with many farmers make a living by growing a wide range of crops including cabbage, callaloo and peppers. However, farming in this area is not without its challenges. Farmers in the watershed have to confront the direct and indirect impacts of climate change. Rainfall is the only source of water supply for the farmers in this area. But based on climate projections, these farmers might be in for a rude awakening due to changes in the rainfall pattern and the increased frequency of drought. Take, for example, this pond, which is normally 20 feet deep. It has now been reduced to a mere 5 feet because of drought.
Warning, warning, warning. Climate change is happening. We got to do something, no doubt. To the world, we're calling out.
It's like a gambling when we farm, when the rain is, because we have excess rain, long rain. Whenever it's dry, we have long drought.
So right now you don't even know when to put in whatever to put in the soil, in the crop, the crops. It's hard to predict.
Because even 3 years back, this time we couldn't even have tractor on this land. Because we'll be get, as you see, May step in, rain, rain, rain. May, June, you know, we always get a lot of rain. But you know, for the past 2.5 years or stuff like that, just like this.
I tell you, when we have drought, I have a pond that I pump water from to wet the farm, and whenever that pond is dry, then we have to pump water from the big lake here to fill those ponds. And it is really costly.
Recently, you know, I have this pepper crop that was nice and flourishing and things like that. And then I come and we get this few days of hard rain. If we wash the water, wash and things like that, and they just quail down. Right now that crop is out.
The experiences of farmers in the Rio Minnow watershed are common to that of most farmers in Jamaica. This is because, like many other small islands in the Caribbean, Jamaica is highly vulnerable to climate risks.
It touches and concerns every ministry. And in fact, one of the things we are going to do is to advocate that there is a budget line in each ministry that is making provisions for climate change.
Over the last 12 years, the country has been impacted by 11 storm-related systems, which have caused severe damage and losses to the economy. The effects of climate change on communities like these in the Rio Minnow watershed have to be understood and addressed in order to build the resilience of Jamaica. This is exactly what the pilot program for climate resilience seeks to do. Jamaica is one of 6 pilot countries in the Caribbean benefiting from the pilot program for climate resilience. The others are St. Lucia, Dominica, Haiti, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
There are 3 objectives to the pilot program for climate resilience. There are 1, improving the quality of climate information for decision making at the national and local levels. 2, mainstreaming climate change adaptation in development planning. And 3, improving access to climate financing for micro, small and medium enterprises and for non-governmental organizations at the community level.
This type of programmatic approach or integrated approach presents an avenue for financial institutions like the Inter-American Development Bank in collaboration with other partners to help countries address the impacts of climate change.
We're really excited about what the pilot program for climate resilience has done for Jamaica's climate change adaptation program. One of the things that we really want to highlight is the fact that the network for meteorological services has been greatly enhanced. We have been able to install 20 automatic weather stations to improve the collection and management of climate data to downscale regional climate models for Jamaica, and we can tell you what Jamaica's climate is likely to be up to 2080.
It's a critical element of our work on climate change within the region, and we want to be able to replicate, to scale up across the country, even across sectors.
Farmers in the Rio Mino watershed and the other areas of Jamaica can now breathe a sigh of relief because they will not be left on their own to deal with the impacts of climate change. Now they can collaborate with the IDB and the government of Jamaica. Through programs like the Pilot Program for Climate Resilience, Jamaica is fast becoming the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
What can you do to mitigate the effects of climate change? Here are 5 simple tips. Number 1. Use a drinking glass in your workplace. This will decrease the amount of plastic produced and discarded. Buried in a landfill, a plastic bottle can take up to 1,000 years to biodegrade. 2. Recycle, recycle, recycle. Remove paper clips from letters received and reuse them. We use envelopes and the blank side of waste paper for post-it notes. Print and copy on both sides of the paper. 3. Drive less and drive smartly. Explore the options of commuting, cycling and walking where possible. Number 4. Stay informed and pass it on. Learn all you can about climate change and share with everyone you know. And number 5. Plant a tree. Or better yet, create green spaces in and around your home, or even at the office. This will enhance your mental and emotional health. A single tree will absorb approximately 1 ton of carbon dioxide during its lifetime. So, how can you create a green space in your home? Space limitation is not an issue. Stay tuned. In our next feature, we'll show you how this can be accomplished.
This garden is beautiful, right? Well, it took quite some time and a lot of hard work to get it to this stage. Did you get it in someone's backyard? It is. Backyard gardening is one sure way of eating healthy and saving money. Today, both you and I will be learning some important pointers on growing our very own garden. So, come, let's dig some dirt. With me is Master Gardener Rashida Linton. She'll be telling us what to consider when choosing a location for a garden. Rashida, this looks like a good enough location.
It is. This is quite okay. You need to ensure that your property is located in an area that receives anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day. Okay. In fact, you need to also ensure that it gets adequate amount of water. It could be either a water tank, a roof gutter, or just a simple tap. You know what? Chris, this is Kerry. Kerry, this is Chris. She's interested in farming. Please tell her anything she wants to know. See you guys later.
Okay. All right, later. Chris, look like we're going to do some farming. Good. Yeah, all right.
Get geared up. You'll need gloves and rubber boots. First, clear the land of stones, tins, broken glass or other types of trash and large sticks or plastics that will hinder your plant's growth. Next, use the fork to dig the area and loosen the soil. You may want to make sure that you fork at least 10 to 12 inches or roughly 25 to 35 centimeters so that your plant roots grow easily. This is also the time that you should add whatever animal manure you have to the soil. Also, you may consider adding sand to improve soil structure and drainage. You want a nice crumbly texture. How much manure do you need? Use 1 kilogram or about 2.5 pounds of chicken manure or 4 kilograms or 8 pounds of cow dung or goat manure to 1 square meter or a yard-sized bed. Fork the manure well into the soil and keep forking to mount a raised bed that is at least 3 feet wide or 90 centimeters and 20 to 30 centimeters or 1 to 12 inches high. Keeping the width at 3 feet will make it easier for you to sow, weed, water and reap from the outside in without having to reach too far. To further ensure that your soil is free from pests and diseases, cover the soil with plastic for a few weeks. Cut large garbage bags down to the side seams and lay them on top of the soil to cover. You can use stones around the edges to keep the bags in place. The plastic covering will allow the soil to get heated in the sun, and over time, this will kill most of the insects, pests, and viruses that might be living in the soil. If you are fencing your plot, you should do that now too. Dig holes at least 1 foot or 30 centimeters. These holes should be at least 2 feet away from each corner of your raised bed. This will give you enough room to walk around as well as bend for sowing, weeding, and watering. Next, one by one, set your fence posts in each hole and fill them in. Then, nail chicken wire around your plot, making sure to leave an opening for entrance and exit.
Carrie, this is good, but you know you don't have to go through all this trouble. There's a much simpler way, especially for persons who don't have enough space. It is called containerized gardening. You need to ensure that you have access to a good amount of water along with 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day. In fact, Bridget has a containerized garden. Let's go and see her.
All right. Chris, thanks.
Thank you.
Bridget, this is Kerry. Kerry, this is Bridget. Bridget has a container garden. Kerry is interested in doing containerized gardening. Please give her all the information she needs.
You have actually come good time because I'm just about to transplant some tomatoes.
Okay.
Right. So this is my container.
When you grow in containers, you must have a proper drainage. If you buy clay or plastic flower pots, they will have holes punched in the bottom for this purpose. But if you are making your own, you must make sure you punch holes in the bottoms and sides so that the plants won't get waterlogged and develop root rot. As for getting the right soil mix, making sure you have really good healthy soil is even more important in container gardening than it is in raised bed gardening. That's because the soil in pots is shallower and can dry out more easily. Most container plants do best with a mix of soils. 1 part loamy soil, 1 part sand, and 1 part humus. Because potted soil does not easily retain nutrients, you should add 6 tablespoons of fertilizer to soil. Once you've put the right mix of soil in your pots, allow them to settle for a week or 2 before planting. The next thing to think about is choosing the right crop to grow in your pots. The most ideal plants for container gardening are callaloo, tomato, peppers, lettuce, cabbage, cucumber, legumes, condiments, and herbs.
Thank you so much, Miss Williams, for all your help. Boy, backyard gardening, not easy. But hey, at least now we know about site selection and container gardening. Backyard living, not bad at all.
I invite you to visit our Facebook page and share with us your photos or just submit a post about creating your green space. You can also send us a tweet about what you're doing to reduce your carbon footprint. Stay in touch by visiting our website and YouTube channel. Remember, whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. So says Chief Seattle. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, stay blessed and be a blessing.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.